Good morning. Welcome back to TillyTube. Today I am presenting at my first professional conference. I honestly can't believe it because if you don't know, I'm going to let you guys know in a little secret. My long-term goal is to become a motivational speaker, so this will give me some of that experience, some of that practice that I need. It is currently 6:55 in the morning. It's still dark outside, as you can tell from my rear view. But we're about to get on the road. We're going to Asheville, North Carolina, and the conference that I'll be presenting at is the NCHO Leadership Drive-In. So it's basically a conference for undergraduate students who are in the housing department, who work within the housing department. So yes, guys, I'm actually super excited. I know I look a little half awake. It's very early for me, but I'm excited. I'm excited to take you guys along. So watch as I travel, as I go to this conference, and I present today. We're in the car on the way right now. Y'all, we made it to UNC Asheville. See that Ram Pride? Period. So we're about to walk up right now. You see it. Big purr. We cute, y'all. We're walking right now. Some nice views at Asheville.
Oh, look at this sign on the inside.
Oh.
That's pretty.
Him stay in the house.
I'm just gonna give you all these. You have the power, do great things, and then there's t-shirts this way sucked in bags, and then you'll kind of keep moving that way toward the opening speaker at the end of the hallway. Okay. All right. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Okay, guys, so we made it here. I got me some coffee, so I'm gonna have a little bit more energy, but I did want to show you guys my name tag and then the little pins I got. Pins. We're walking into the welcome right now.
Hello everyone and welcome to the 2025 Student Leadership Drive-In. My name is Zach Short. I am the Community Director at Wake Forest University. And in addition to that, I serve as the North Carolina Housing Officers, or NCHO, President. So with this, I'd like to take a moment to thank UNC Asheville for hosting this and all the hard work of Christine and the rest of the Asheville team to put all of this on.
Five turns. Woo! Time is it? Big time! Woo!
North Carolina Central.
Keep alive and alive!
NC State.
Whoa!
funniest thing ever.
UNCC, where you at? Where you at? UNCC, where you at? Right here, not the nation loud and clear. Dribble, green and glow. We got like iron glow. Throw your backs up. You know what's up. When NASCAR speed, we lead the way. UNCC, we are here to stay.
Those Spartans.
Pass down to that way. Everybody.
From the G to the F the street. Everybody commitment to clean. We get the function made to lead. UNCG, yeah, we live, we lie. Gold and blue, yeah, we run and ride. Yeah, we do it right. It is hard, it is hard. Turn it up all night. It is hard, it is hard. It is hard, go, 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 go.
I ain't gonna lie, they ate that. We're about to do our chant.
Western Carolina.
Thought it was.
Oh, who lives in the mountains of Halloween?
Western Catamounts!
Western, Western, go Western, go
Winston-Salem State.
Yes.
W! W! S! 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 U! W! W! S! S! U! W!
Like it.
Say the best for last.
Period. The best for last. Thank you.
6 months ago, this room, there weren't lights on in this room because we didn't have any power, we didn't have any water. We were trying to figure out what was going to happen next here. No phones, no internet, right? Nothing. And so it truly is a privilege and an honor to be hosting you all here in this space on our campus today.
Hey y'all, so I'm about to go to my first session and I did want to update y'all. So I'm getting these little pins from different institutions. I only have one so far, which is like a little, it says Go Cox, which is for USC, but I plan to get at least 10 today, so I'll keep y'all updated with how that goes. But once I get to my first session, I'll kind of show you guys what it is and where I'm going. So I thought this was cool. This is welcome in all the languages. So cool. I have a lot of unique infrastructure here, which I really enjoy. Wow, look at this. Spill the tea. My new friend, hi! But yeah, I vlog.
I want to ask you a philosophical question, all right? So I'm getting a vibe that you like to share a lot with other people.
I do.
So, would you rather die knowing that you lived a good life, but everyone else thinks you lived a bad one? Or die and everyone else thinks you lived a good life, but you feel like you lived a bad one?
I'd rather die and everyone think I lived a good life. Like, I want to create a legacy, a good legacy. I mean, I feel like, you know, honestly, all we're going to have left is our spirit. So, if I feel like you're right, though. I don't know. I never considered that, though. I feel like it's better for me to be content with myself, though, now that I think about it, than what other people thought. So yeah, I'm gonna switch my answer. I think.
There is no right or wrong answer. It's just,
Yeah, but like now that I think about it a little more, I'm like, I'd rather be content with myself than about what other people think. Because it's like I'm gonna die alone, no, not gonna die with other people's thoughts. So I'm gonna change my answer. What about you?
yes. Well, hold on. I want to go down this rabbit hole for a little while.
Okay.
All right. So with that being said, how much of what you do now is for other people?
I feel like I feel like with my role now, it is kind of for other people because I serve as an advisor to first year students. So it's like I'm mentoring them, trying to like help them with their transition to college. So a lot of it is doing it for them. Yeah. Like I feel like I only feel good if I made an impact in their lives. So.
Downtime. You said you like to vlog and make videos and stuff. We'll get into more.
Okay.
But I'm assuming y'all shared some trials and challenges. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to change up and talk about boundary setting. I forgot the question I put up here, but let's talk about what boundary setting, the struggles you've had, and even some stuff that might have been successes or ways you might talk about burnout. How does boundary setting play into that? And
Perfect.
Yeah.
So with boundary setting, do you set aside time for yourself?
I feel like I do. Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely like sleep in sometimes, and then I definitely take days off when I start to feel overwhelmed. So yeah, I would say yes, for sure. I have to, because if not, I wouldn't survive. I don't think I would without those break days. Yeah. What about you? How do you set boundaries when you feel burnt out? Do you ever say no when I know you say you have a lot of days with your firefighter stuff?
I have a hard time saying no personally because I get that nice fulfilling feeling when I'm being there for
When you're
other people.
impacting.
Because like I'm a very empathetic person, and so when I see them happy, all it does is fill me with happiness. And
Right.
That's one of the big things. But at the same time, I've been figuring out lately that like sometimes it's okay to say no, and the world doesn't end.
Yeah, it's a hard reality but you know, I know another part of that is like for me, like for the work that I do, I feel like the only person that could really do it the way I want to do it is me. So it's hard for me to be like, no, you can do it, and then they don't do it how I would want to do it, and then yeah.
What is the work you want to do?
Well, I'm getting my Master's of Education and Student Affairs Administration in higher ed. So basically working with students, and I'm interested in like building student leaders, and like leadership development. It's kind of like my little niche, like what I want to do. So, I don't know.
What brought you to that?
My involvement in undergrad, just being able to see my journey. Like I began a freshman, I went to UNC Pembroke. I began a freshman, I was very introverted, very scared, and then I got myself involved, and I gained a lot of opportunities just like putting myself out there. Like, because I ultimately became student body president at the end, just coming in, like being shy and scared, and then at my senior year, speaking at graduation. Like just that journey, like I want to be able to like fuel other students and give them those opportunities, or basically like see students who are, you know, shy and timid, and kind of give them the power, give them the will to kind of put themselves out there and become something better. So
Is there someone who kind of did that for you?
well, there were advisors that I had great close relationships with, but yes, but and no, because my advisors kind of like every year there was like a new person, kind of in a sense, because they were like not burnout, but turnover is real. Like people keep leaving to go get better opportunities. So there were specific people who were important in that journey, but like I couldn't credit it to like one person. So yeah. So quick little update. I just left my first session. I only got one more pen, which was from a student at Western Carolina. That was a good discussion. We talked about self-care, burnout, etc., etc. He was asking me a lot of philosophical Yeah, I can't talk. He was asking me a lot of philosophical questions, and it really made me think and reflect on maybe I do need a 100% me day. Like I haven't had a me day. Like I spend a lot of time with my boyfriend. I don't ever have a me day. So I'm definitely going to implement that. But the next session is an advisor meet and greet. So I'll take y'all with me when I go there.
I'm the residence coordinator for first year programming at Duke University. So I do traditional RD work, but also I do all of history programs. Super fun.
I'm about to flick up. We're taking Greek photo. All of my fellow Greeks are here. My girl. We're about to eat, and this is their calf. Oh, definitely gonna get me a salad. Okay. And they have, I think this is the sweets sandwich. Oh, it's a deli. You make your own sandwich. I like that. You got hot Cheetos out there? It's kind of crazy. I'm gonna show y'all my plate when I get it. I seen this. They have like a little balcony, so I want to show y'all this because it's kind of cool. You're welcome. Excuse me. I am indeed in love with this. Yo, we're on the way right now to go set up for our presentation. So exciting. I'm feeling a little anxious, but I also know that nerves are normal. We're gonna do good. This reminds me of. We're walking over right now. We have to take the elevator. Cause the steps that's M. I think this is 200. I think we're already on 200. I'm not mistaken. Okay, yeah. I think it's this room right here. Right here. Pretty sure. Yeah. 229. Oh, it's not 10 rows, it's more like 6. This is the room we'll be presenting in. Thank you.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay.
All right, y'all. Good afternoon, everyone. I know we're right after lunchtime, but I hope everyone is ready to engage, do some fun activities. We're going to introduce ourselves in just a few seconds here, but the title of our presentation is The I in Teamwork, Applying Leadership and Collaboration Strategies in Teams. As you can see, the description was also on the schedule, but it's basically pretty much just talking about teamwork, collaboration, how you can apply these skills to your respective leadership positions. It's also applicable for advisors as well. So, yeah.
All right, so my name is Maestra Johnson, and I am a coordinator of residence education and engagement at Winston-Salem State. So I supervise a team, and I also work as part of a team.
Hello everyone, my name is Talia Daniels. I am the Graduate Assistant for Academic Initiatives, Curriculum, and Assessment at Winston-Salem State University. And I'm also a first-year student at the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. I'm getting my master's. Yes, go Spartans.
And then my name is Shannon Griffin. I use she, her pronouns. I am a graduate hall director at Winston-Salem State University for Rams Commons. I'm also a graduate student at UNC Greek.
Go Spartans!
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a second-year master's student in the Student Affairs Administration in Higher Education program. So I'll be graduating in May.
Yay. So I wanted to talk about some of our learning outcomes and what to expect from today. So today we're going to talk about some common obstacles when it comes to teamwork and collaboration. I'm sure most of these things that you've been able to deal with that we'll talk about. We'll also reflect on some group dynamics of student organizations, things like that. And then we'll end off with some strategies, kind of give you some tools to take back to your campus. So tune in.
All right, so to get your brains rolling, we have a couple of scenarios. So we're going to read the scenarios, and we're going to ask you the general question of, is this teamwork or is this collaboration? So for scenario 1, a group of RAs is assigned to organize a campus-wide wellness fair. Each RA is responsible for securing different vendors, such as counseling services, fitness instructors, and food sponsors. They divide the tasks and work individually, checking in occasionally to ensure everything aligns with the event's vision. Is this teamwork, or would you say that this is collaboration?
Collaboration.
I got a collaboration? Oh, I got some more collaborations? Okay. All right.
Oh yeah, this is collaboration.
Okay, definitely collaboration. All right.
It might be teamwork. That's what I was thinking. At first I was like, it's teamwork, but then
Okay, so talk to me a little bit. Why collaboration and not teamwork? What you got?
I feel like with teamwork, it's like everybody working on one thing. But like with collaboration, it's more like everybody doing different things and kind of like combining it together. So like when it says like each RA is responsible for securing different vendors, like that's like multiple things going on at once to kind of like cater to like a whole event. Like if this was just like, if this was like a counseling event and everybody was doing everything related to counseling, it'd be teamwork. But this is like a whole like wellness fair, and wellness takes different types of services, such as like mental, physical, emotional.
I got you.
Yeah, you gotta collab on those things.
Okay. So I saw a lot of head nods. Yeah.
And another like few words that I noticed that differentiate teamwork to collaboration is the work individually, checking in occasionally. Is that with teamwork, I always picture it that it's like, okay, we're all working at the same, like if all of us as a team work together to create something right now and finish it. But as collaboration, it's like, okay, here's your part, your part, your part. Check in when your part's complete, and we'll add it into the slide later.
And I saw a lot of head nods on that too. Okay. Y'all know something.
Okay. All right, we're going to move on to scenario 2. During a late night shift, an RA encounters a medical emergency on their floor. They quickly call campus security, inform the hall director, and seek assistance from a fellow RA to manage residents while waiting for emergency personnel. Everyone actively communicates and adjusts their roles in real time to ensure the situation is handled effectively. So what are y'all thinking there?
Teamwork.
Everyone's thinking teamwork? No collaborators? Okay. All right.
All right, scenario 3. The executive board of a student club decides to raise money for an upcoming conference. The treasurer creates a budget, the PR officer designs promotional materials, and the fundraising chair reaches out to businesses for sponsorships. Each person contributes their expertise, and they meet weekly to share updates and refine their approach. Teamwork or collaboration?
Okay.
So, you know, y'all did a really great job on assessing the differences between collaboration and teamwork. Yeah, give yourself a little, yeah. So teamwork and collaboration, they are very similar, right? Like they're two sides of the same coin, but there are some key differences. So again, they are very similar, but there are a couple of things that are different. And I think that that's important for us when we're working in student organizations and when we're working with people, because if we're doing teamwork versus collaboration, there may be different things that we need to do, and vice versa.
All right, so we're going to talk about some common obstacles when it comes to teamwork and collaboration. So first is communication breakdown. So when we think about this, we think about misunderstandings, we think about unclear expectations and assumptions. So an example of this can be like if you are planning an event and everyone on the committee thinks that someone had reached out to a facility to do a facility request, but then y'all found out the week of the event, no one ever asked, no one ever requested it. So that's kind of when we talk about communication breakdown as being one of the obstacles. Next, we're going to talk about dual roles and overcommitment. I'm sure y'all are very involved on your campus, not just in RA, maybe you're in SGA and other student organizations, and that can be a conflict because everyone wants to meet and everyone's busy. No one has the time to do that. So we think about overcommitment and dual roles in a team. And then that kind of goes into our third obstacle, which is conflicting schedules. So we always are trying to find a time to meet, and everyone has something to do at that time. So it can be challenging when working in a team.
So our next 3 obstacles. So next we have personality clashes and group dynamics. So as you all know, working on a team or collaborating with other individuals, it can be stressful. It can be stressful, especially if you have a different leadership style, if you have a different style of communication, if you have a different personality altogether, it can be really difficult to work together on a team or to collaborate. So that's another obstacle. You have a lack of a clear goal or vision. If everyone doesn't understand the purpose that they're working towards, it can be really difficult to achieve the goal that you have set out, whether you are collaborating or whether you are working on a team, or whether you're doing a little bit of both. And then last but not least, you have conflict avoidance and lack of accountability. Conflict can be kind of rough. It can be tough to address, and it can definitely be tougher to address with a team member or someone in your group. But making sure that you have that accountability for not only for yourself, but for your team members is important, and it's a common obstacle when you're working on a team.
So we want to take this moment to kind of pause and give you a chance to reflect on some of these obstacles that you've seen or experienced in your own work. But what obstacles have you observed in your student leadership roles, and how did it, or how has it, or how is it affecting your team?
The next question is, what has your group tried to fix these challenges? Think about some of the solutions that you possibly have had for these common obstacles, and what worked and what didn't work.
And then on your respective teams, if you could change one thing about how your team works together, what would it be and why? So we're going to give a few minutes for you all to meet in small groups. Meet in small groups or reflecting to themselves?
Yeah, you can turn and talk, chit chat with the people that you came with, chit chat with somebody new. Yeah, we'll give you about 4 minutes.
Feel free to move around if you want to talk to somebody new. We'll give you all a few minutes to discuss.
We'll try to like pick up.
All right, y'all, we're gonna bring you back together.
Everybody good?
We are so happy that y'all found these questions useful because y'all doing a lot of talking. So I'm curious, for that first question, if anybody wants to share maybe some obstacles that they've seen or experienced in their organizations.
I will share one. So I was telling my great team over here. One of the challenges that I face being an advisor for 2 student-led orgs is having actual students that know how to lead and have that leadership aspect or traits to them to be able to lead a student-led organization. And I'm finding myself leading the organization, doing the events, putting on the events, and things of that nature. So that is something that I feel has affected not only the team, but the organization itself.
Yeah, that's a good one from an advisor standpoint too. Yeah.
I was thinking a little bit about we're having issues with like certain RAs taking on more work than other RAs and like an unequal distribution of assignments and stuff like that. And that's something we've been struggling at Wilson. We have like a whole new housing staff coming in this semester, and so it's like a really big transition right now for all of us. So it's
Better than it was.
It's better than it was, and Amanda's doing a great job. But like definitely just still having issues with like on the RA level, not necessarily just like the administration level, just like being like you're not stepping up enough, and having other RAs being like, oh, I'm always the one who's covering for duty, or I'm always helping people with maintenance checks and stuff like that. And I think just like having conversations and being transparent is really important. And what I've been trying to doing is like talking to my area coordinator, being like, can you give me advice, or would you mind saying something to the team? Because it's hard when you're at the same level as all your other RAs, and it's hard to be like, I don't want to micromanage you because I'm not your boss, but also like I can see the unequal distribution. So it's always difficult working with like finding solutions and also like having those open conversations, just because that can be really personal and it can sometimes be like a little bit upsetting.
That's a good one. I've seen that a lot.
I'm a second-year RA, and in both staffs that I've worked with, one of the biggest things that I really noticed, and it's gotten a little bit better, because also like dynamics of being in first-year housing and then mixed population housing, like that really changes the dynamic too. But that both staffs have kind of struggled with. A majority of it is you're kind of there just for the paycheck, and you're kind of like half-assing it a little bit, like yeah, I'll do my duty, I'll do my whatever, but it's like when you have situations, it's kind of notice that, hey, there's a noise complaint, I don't want to do that, well, but it's your job. And so it's like different things that like you can see on their face that like they'll do it, but it's like begrudgingly, like I don't want to actually have to go do that. And so kind of like this year in August, one of the associate directors, he started implementing monthly in-services. And so it's almost like RA training carried out throughout the year. And like some of those in-services are talking about like, yeah, I get it, you don't want to do the job, but here's how you do reporting properly. Here's how like you can take different things like resources on campus and like incorporate that into conversations and stuff. So that's kind of helped boost the morale of like wanting to do it. So it has gotten progressively a little bit better, but it's also really hard when you've worked in two 25-member staffs, well, 17 and 25. That you have a lot of different dynamics and personalities, and so you're going to be like, okay, that's how they handle things, that's not how I handle things, it's fine.
The quality of candidates, and then the quality of their onboarding experience that starts primarily with team development and onboarding, and setting those clear mutual expectations, right? And just showing people off the bat, like it's going to take, as a supervisor, it's going to take time for y'all to trust me, but I'm going to trust y'all. But I'm going to train y'all, but I'm going to bring you on, and I like to think that I try to do that pretty well, and create strong teams, because they'll developing those relationships, setting clear expectations, well-organized training with outcomes, but then holding folks accountable. But if you do all that other stuff, you find that you don't have to hold people accountable because they're more invested in their community. And when y'all are more invested in your community, people are going to take care of it better, and it's going to be easier for everybody. Then we can do the fun res life stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of, like dealing with bears or whatever.
That's really fun.
We have another activity for you all. So you're going to get back into those small groups. We are going to pass out some prompts for you all to discuss, and you'll answer the questions, and then we'll come back together and kind of do the same thing a little bit. All right?
Based on the conversations, it sounds like we picked some really good examples for you. Okay, all right. So each one of you got an example of one of the obstacles that we just talked about. So what we're going to do is we invite you all to share in this conversation. So we're going to offer some strategies for you, but I'm curious from your groups what strategies or what solutions y'all came up with in your small groups. So the first two obstacles that we're going to offer some strategies for are communication and for dual responsibilities. So when it comes to communication, use tools. Right? We live in 2025. There are so many apps. There are so many different methods of communication. So at our university, we use GroupMe a lot. There's also an app that some schools are now using called Band. So, find what works for your group, and maybe that's part of the conversation that your team is having is what is the best way to communicate with one another. Also, shared documents are another great way when you're collaborating, right? When people are working independently on pieces, to have all of your work in one place so that you're being effective with the time and the communication that you do have. Another strategy is to set timelines. So if you are having a meeting, you should never leave your meeting wondering when you're going to see your group again, right? So set timelines for when things are going to be done. Set timelines for when you're going to come back together. Set timelines for check-ins. And again, that next piece of check-ins, right? Check-ins are super important because that's the time for you to be able to tell your teammate what's going wrong, what's not working, what problems have come up, so that when you're, again, actually communicating, your communication is effective and you're covering everything that needs to be covered. So which group had communication?
Who did?
Okay. Are there any other strategies that y'all would add?
Well, the one that it doesn't really go with our thing, but one that we've had a really bad kind of miscommunication error in some of the clubs I've been in as well. And so what we ended up doing for time management, we ended up getting a shared calendar. So you can do that on Google through Gmail as well, I think, or Outlook. Outlook has a really good option, or there's this app called TimeTree, where you can TimeTree is a really good app where y'all can all set up a big schedule and put when you're busy, and then just find a common time, when y'all are free basically. And that's what I've used for clubs now.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one. All right. So then the next piece is dual responsibilities. So again, you all are busy student leaders. You're usually not just part of one organization, but several. And so when you are setting and planning projects, be realistic. right? Like, don't sign up to take 3 tasks on for the next week if you know that you've got a busy schedule or you've got, you know, an overload. And even if that impacts what your team is able to get done or agree to, it's realistic, right? So when you're realistic, you can make plans around things that are going on. Maybe this week somebody else is going to take an extra task because they have the time and the capability to do so. And then is there anything that dual responsibilities that group wants to add?
I mean, the biggest thing we were saying was just like over communicate honestly with your pro staff and also just your fellow RAs. Like they're here to help you as a community. And it's okay to sometimes, again, have to delegate or just really be clear about what commitments you can successfully do. And just having that open communication is vital for success.
Like from the supervisor lens, it's really important to be like aware of all these things and watching all these things. And like when you do have that one RA who's doing the most or too much, like being able to recognize that, talking to them and reassigning and redelegating things.
And
as your supervisor.
even if you have to forcefully take something from a person, be like, hey, I'm seeing that you're burning out. Let me take this one thing from you and I'm gonna give it to somebody else.
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to go into the next strategy, which is conflicting schedules. You kind of talked about it earlier. Using scheduling tools, and these apps will help to see what everyone is doing at certain times, so you can all find a collective time to meet at once. And also doodle polls. You can create what times you're available, and based on your schedule, allow people to say when they're available as well. And then set standing meetings. I think this is important when you find a good time for everybody to meet every week or bi-weekly. It's important to just go ahead and put it on the calendar. We know we're going to meet every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, so make sure you're there. It's not going to change, so make sure you're there. So set standing meetings, that's important. And then create asynchronous work options. Give people an opportunity if they have to come virtually. It's okay, come virtually. We know everyone has different schedules, and so if you can't be there physically, have an option for them to be there virtually. So for the conflicting schedules team, is there anything y'all would like to add that y'all talked about?
Using a window work, maybe. Trying to see when is everybody's availability. Like my team actually meets on Zoom or on Teams, so we all can't meet in person. So
right.
We already moved to that. Yeah.
Okay. And then as far as personality clashes, it's important to identify. I think once you have your team solidified, it's important to do some personality quizzes, find out who you're working with. So when those conflicts do arise, you know how to approach those conflicts. And also know what people are good at what, and what people who maybe are scared. Like if you have public speaking opportunity, someone who's afraid of doing that, you're not going to put them up to do it because that's going to cause problems because they're not going to want to do it. So just know who you're working with and like their personality styles. Second is prioritizing team building. It's important in a team like to know who you're working with and to create that trust. Like trust is most important in a team. Being able to rely on your team. And so doing icebreakers, little bonding activities that are outside of work, you're not thinking about work when you're doing them, is important to build that camaraderie on your team. And then lastly, foster open dialogue. It's important to create an open space, a safe space for your team, allowing them to, if anything ever arises, them not being scared to come to you, and also compromise based on their schedules. And then mutual respect. It's important. Respect is the most important thing in the team. Also, just being able to not disrespect them, basically, because that'll also cause problems. Anybody in the personality clashes want to add anything that y'all talked about? No? I got it? Okay.
All right, and then for our last 2 obstacles, the strategies for a lack of clear goals and vision. Define your goals at the start. And revisit those regularly. So the importance of the onboarding process, defining those goals and that vision and the mission of your department and for your team at the start is really, really important. Anything they want to add for those who had that statement?
We said like a strong leadership, because a bunch of confused people can't get anything done. So you need that one person to take the initiative to, get everything in line, just in case it's just what you need.
For conflict avoidance. This kind of also goes into the personality clashes. As you can see, some of these strategies kind of go hand in hand. So create a feedback culture. Create that open environment where you all feel comfortable holding each other accountable. Yes, you'll still see it as conflict, but it will be more manageable, it will be more approachable. You'll be able to address it within your team. And then, y'all ever heard of 24-48? I think it's like, you give yourself, if there's a conflict that happens, you give yourself 24 hours to come off the emotions of what happens, and then you give yourself 48 hours to address it. But you address it as early as possible so that you can resolve it within a team so that there's not like tension or pressure within that team. So that's going to be really important for conflict avoidance. Does anybody have any other tips they want to add for that?
So we kind of dived all the way into the, because we talked about like the supervision style, because if you're a supervisor, you're delegating tasks and you realize one person in the group is not completing the task, but you haven't addressed it and the team members are now at a point where they don't even want to address it, the leadership style there is clearly off. Also then it shows that conflict management, so going back to having in-service, clearly the team needs to practice conflict management, because if you can't even correct one of your team members, how are you handling roommate conflicts and things of that nature that happen in the residence hall? So it kind of ties all the way. Yes, accountability task list, but you need to even dive deeper than that so you can avoid those future conflicts.
Well, thank you all. You all shared some really good tips and advice for each other, for us. We learned from you all. We hope you all learned from us. Our contact information is here on the screen in case you wanted to connect with us. Please follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Connect with us personally, and do the evaluation that they are referring to sometimes. Thank y'all.
Thank y'all. Hey. Per the bill, y'all. OMG, y'all overdid it. It's kind of crazy. Hey y'all, so I wanted to update y'all on my reflections of the presentation, my first professional presentation. I think it went really well. I think a lot of the students were engaged, and we got a lot of strategies that I feel like they were able to use examples from their experience. And I think they're going to be able to take a lot of what we learned back to their campus. So that's good. But I do want to update y'all on my pins. So right now I have 7. Like I said, my goal is to get 10. But I'll talk about what campuses I have so far. So this first one is from Wake Forest University. And they are the deacons. So they have a little hat, a little tie, which is really, really cute. We have one from UNC Chapel Hill that says "Shake That Axe," and not sure what their mascot or whatever is, but Niners. So they have that. That's number 2. We got a Gamecocks one from USC. It says "Go Cox" and has a little Cox on it. That's the one I showed y'all earlier. And then I had to get my institution that I'm alumna from, UNC Pembroke. Go Braves, talons out, forever a Brave. And then I got one from Western Carolina University, Go Cats, they're the Catamounts. And then I have one from North Carolina Central University, they are the Eagles, so we got the Eagles on the back. And then number 7, we have Catawba College, so they have a little C on there. And I think their colors are blue and red. So that's a little look at my clothespins. I'm gonna update y'all. I'm gonna get 10. That's my goal. I'm gonna get 10. But I'm about to go back to another session, and then after this session is like the last hoorah. And so I'll check in when I get there.
I was in this talent show. Oh, Nick, UNC Pembroke. Hey, how's it going? I was in this talent show, and I'm a senior, and I was supposed to be in it, but they had too many people, so they cut me out. I was like, no, I always wanted to sing. I never got the chance to do it. But then the day of the show, the morning, the guy that was in charge of it said, hey, listen, this girl Madison, she can't make it. Do you want to do it? I was like, yeah. So I did it, and I was so nervous, y'all, because I was out of it. Like, for 2 weeks, I was like, I didn't even think about it. And I did it, and I was so nervous. And there's like a one minute period where I got on stage, and then they did not play my backing track. I was waiting, and it felt like a year, I swear to you. And I started talking to the audience. Like, I was like, hey, this is kind of awkward, y'all. That song, you know? But then when I did it, I sung it, and I couldn't hear it well because the backing track was so loud. And so when I got off stage, I was like, people were like, "Oh, great job, Nick. Yeah, good job." And I was like, "Y'all don't really mean that, do you?" You're like, "No."
So we're making little cards to put into the bags. And this is the one I came up with. You got this, don't give up. And here's some more up here. It's a philanthropy project. We're at the swag swap right now. Update the vlog. Everyone's swapping. We got the Winston stuff here.
Okay, I like the section. Okay, it's 3 of us. Can I get a set? Yeah, bag first. And what about him? Yeah. I have 2 other colleagues. Can I have 2 bucks? Or one of these 2? Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. I'm still a partner to the day I died.
Whatever.
We're gonna bag in exchange for a handmade bandana. Thank you.
Send stuff down here. Is that okay? Yeah. I have long sleeve keys.
What you want? A shirt, a bag for a shirt? You want a cup? It's a laundry bag too. Thank you. Laundry bag, cup, mud, and it's not going.
Got a load of stuff. I think we're almost out. He's got a laundry bag and some cups left.
50 cents on the dollar.
There it is. Yeah, we definitely did.
We still got 2 cups in a mug, y'all.
Cup in a mug.
Y'all find what a cup too? In a mug. It's a mug right here.
We got a mug.
There you go.
Currently 4:07, so you have just over 10 minutes. We're gonna be on the other side of this stairwell here on the first floor. We're gonna try and get a group photo of everyone.
Nice.
So make your way that way. It's just a little.
Is she up there with her? We're taking a picture.
I was there. I'm a squirrel.
Don't wait for me.
There are currently 273 people sitting in this room attending the Student Leadership Director. You all are representing 22 institutions from North and South Carolina. And we created 146 love letters for Bounty and Soul. For you, we have wrapped 4,044 diapers. Thank you to you all hard to comprehend. After a major natural disaster, our team learned this firsthand, kind of the hard way, but we get an inundation and an outpour of love and support and things, right? Items to help our community. But what we didn't have was hands to be able to process that stuff. And so you all were the hands that we needed today, even 6 months after, to help support our community. So thank you so much for that on behalf of Asheville.
So thank you. If you presented a program today or facilitated a roundtable discussion, please stand to be recognized.
Yes.
Wait, what? It's a presentation, right? I think so. Yay!
Our best of for this year is True Leadership, True You by Tylee Williams.
The winner of the 2025 Distinguished Emerging Student Leader Award is Ariana Stokes.
W. She gonna take a picture.
The Distinguished Student Leader Award recognizes an undergraduate student who demonstrates transformative and innovative leadership skills, a commitment to enhancing their team and campus community, and a dedication to mentoring future student leaders. Here are a few words about this year's recipient. I am proud to nominate this individual for the
Here are a few words about this year's recipient.
I talked about this a little bit this morning. This spirit stick goes to the most spirited institution that showed spirit throughout the drive-in, through their decked out gear, their spirit, cheers and chants, etc. The winner of this award will receive the Student Leadership Drive-In Spirit Stick.
Yeah.
And like I said, we'll bring it back in 2026 to pass it off to the next most spirited institutional winner.
So, the winner of this amazing spirit stick is UNC Greensboro!
25 Student Leadership Drive-In. We hit record numbers this year with the most attendance. I know that Christine talked about that earlier.
I'll definitely be in Raleigh because my man in Raleigh. Purr.
Not my man in Raleigh. Anyway, I'm really honored to wrap up the 2025 Student Leadership Drive-In, and I just want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for being here.
Hey y'all, so updates. I got all of my pins. Got new ones from Fayetteville State, Clemson, and then I have my Winston one. So I got 10. I reached my goal. But we're about to leave. Bye. Just gonna say goodbye to Asheville's campus. But I will be back here for ASG in a few weeks. I'll also be vlogging that, so y'all see that soon. But let me get in front of everybody so everybody can get the video. Okay, guys, I'm gonna say bye. Bye. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. That's a wrap. NCHO Leadership Drive-In 2025.
High volume. Am I really that?